Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all having a great and wonderful day. And what we're going to be talking about is the horrible, decrepit state of Baltimore. Because Baltimore pretty much is a place to where you just do not have any fun at all, at least when you are an adult. Because juveniles can just go do whatever, they can be free and do whatever. As this woman is, kind of threatened with these juveniles. She saw these juveniles, these kids, harassing another mother and her kid all just out, just kind of doing their own thing, and she takes a picture. And for whatever apparent reason, because these juveniles have no parents, they probably have a single mother, and it is most likely leading into things that are quite horrible, and this is kind of the result that ended up happening.
Her 11-month-old daughter.
Usually I walk along the waterfront so she can look at all the ducks and the geese and the boats.
That's when she noticed two juveniles harassing another mom and her daughter sitting on a bench. That's when she took out her phone to document it.
You see on all the Facebook neighborhood groups, does anybody have any photos? Does anybody have any pictures of this happened and we were attacked?
And that's when...
So, straight off the gate, what you have here is that a woman, a mother, a normal, sensible human being, sees a group of kids harassing another mother and her child, and she decided to take a picture of it. And, of course, the rational thing for what kids would do would probably, maybe just leave or go away or run or probably not be doing this at all. But no, these kids instead decided to threaten her and say that, oh, we want to, we're going to give me your phone, don't take the pictures, delete the pictures. And another thing, too, is that they also threatened to snap her baby's neck or her infant's neck. I don't know, these are not what we call humans here, this is what we call animals. I think freaks of nature, things that we would probably discard out in the dumpster somewhere because they're not really human.
Two juveniles turned their attention to Lydia.
They're like, give me your phone. I was like, no, you can't have this phone.
Demanding she delete the picture, but things only went from bad to worse.
They were threatening, harassing her and said, you're lucky you don't snap your baby's neck and a bunch of other things.
The pair taking aim at Lydia's baby. Lydia ran inside Bayside Cantina, hoping to get help.
So, as you've seen, they really tried to threaten her life, threaten her baby's neck, which is, a completely insane thing to say, by the way. That is completely insane. We say a lot of things in our Discord here, and I don't mean the actual JMReports Discord, but my friend's Discord that we all have, and we don't even say that stuff, alright? There is some diabolical stuff going on here. And what we have is this simple, where she goes into this restaurant, they follow her into the restaurant. These are the kind of things that is going on here, and that's insanity in its finest. And what you're going to end up finding out here, guys, is that some people are saying, oh, well, they're just little kids, you don't have to worry about it, they're just kids, right? They're so small, they're so tiny, they're not going to do anything. Okay, alright. Regardless whether they're small kids or not, they're still threatening violence, and most people don't want to deal with violence. Also, these look like young boys, so from the looks of it, it looks like these young boys are probably more than capable, especially if they're reaching puberty, that can be able to deal with her. Not only that, you cannot protect your baby at all times when you're dealing with 2 or 3 people. I mean, look at this. Look at this. There's like at least 4 or 5 of these kids here. You cannot just protect your baby when all of them are running towards your baby and wanting to do harm to it. I'm sorry. You can't go and do stuff like that. You can't go and do multitask in a life or death threatening situation. I'm sorry. It's just not possible.
They tried to throw a bottle at me when I entered.
Here she is, seen on the restaurant surveillance video, not far behind the 2 very small juveniles.
I was asking for help. They immediately tried to put themselves between me and the kids.
Bayside staff quickly coming to her rescue, forcing the kids out before calling the police. The ordeal leaving Lydia with thoughts of what could have been.
Said you don't want to have to attack or harm a child to protect your own child, but I definitely would have. I would have done anything to protect her.
Yeah, so they're really just threatening her baby's life, right? We're looking to just snap the baby's neck, which is completely insane. I don't see how you could deal with this in a type of deal, right? That's insane. My best advice to you all guys is to leave Baltimore, because that is the wisest decision you can do, probably the best decision you've done ever in your life, and probably leave in any other state. Probably like Portland, Oregon would be a great idea, and then maybe California is the next best step, because these places are going into a hellbasket, and it's just not great for anybody to be involved, right? And the woman here really has something to say, to where, like, these youths, they need help. There's no way of guidance to do it. Well, the thing is, there's not going to be anything, because Baltimore is a liberal state, or a liberal city, and they're just going to do what they're going to do and not punish these kids.
Like many others, this mom is wanting more when it comes to accountability.
I don't know what that looks like. Definitely like some sort of punishment, some sort of disciplinary action. It just seems that there's no real consequence or no real path to help guide them away from doing, aggressive, like threatening violence, stuff like that.
Yeah, so the mother is pretty much saying, like, yeah, they got to do something or whatever to deal with the kids, and it's like, that's great and all, but that requires your state, your city, to actually do something about it. Because again, if you keep on voting for Democrat, and I'm not saying that she seems like just a normal person that just seems apolitical, but it just seems like she is a little bit misinformed, or doesn't understand like what's really going on here. Because we all know Baltimore will do a slap on the wrist for kids and just not do anything, right? And that's kind of where it goes. Now we have this man here, an old timer, which you would say. I guess you wouldn't say old timer, but old enough to understand, like, you would, if you do something like this, or you threaten my family or whatever, there's going to be problems. You're going to be catching some hands here. So this is what the guy had to say about it in this whole situation, and still about the whole matter of it is that, like, it depends. Like, some people are saying, like, it depends on the situation. Like, what?
Taking criminals out of our kids. You know what I'm saying? And they're growing up now young, thinking that they can get away with the little things. But when you threaten a lady with a baby.
Yeah, the guy is pretty much saying, it's like, okay, you're threatening them with little things and stuff like that. It's like, are you saying, like, are you threatening a mother with a baby? And this is what I'm talking about here, like, complete insanity, and how lax the laws are, at least it seems like in Baltimore. And again, this lady here, this specifically, they show these individuals, these men are going on here, and it's just, he literally says it depends on the situation, which is insane. And I'll kind of wrap this up quickly here, because you'll understand what I'm talking about in a bit of a more descriptive matter.
Fox 45 showed the video to this father.
I've got two little ones. I would say my wife would be scared.
And asked if the size of the juveniles matters based on the claims of a physical assault and a verbal threat.
It just depends on the situation.
Now, the guy says it depends on the situation. It really does not depend on the situation. If a 10-year-old kid has a gun, he is a very lethal and dangerous threat. If a kid has a knife, he is a very lethal and dangerous threat. It's like, it really does not depend on the situation at all. It's really quite stupid on why you would say it depends on the situation. You have kids of your own, and I guarantee you, if some kid coming to threaten your own kids, you would be putting hands on those kids. You would be going freaking Mike Tyson on them if they decided to do something like that. And that's what this black man says here. He said, if you would be doing something like this to my kids or whatever, you'd be threatening to me, you're going to be catching these hands. These hands will be putting you in the hospital.
Size does not matter. If you do a crime, that's it.
But not everyone, like Larry Pender, agrees.
They say they're going to snap the kid's neck. If that was my wife or my daughter or my mother or whoever, I would smack out of them, because it's not fair.
Yeah, and he really goes out and says, like, yeah, you be catching these asses. Like, I don't care. I want to be slapping the crap out of you, man. Like, you put there, and that's the normal reaction of anybody if it's put in this situation. It's like we just can't be thinking that these kids are innocent, right? No, these are animals. These are monsters. If you're going to threaten to slap a baby's neck, I think that's warrant for self-defense and maybe putting them into, I don't know, maybe a gutter somewhere or maybe a garbage can, because, that's kind of what we deserved. And the guy even says that he's planning to move out because of how bad the crime has gotten and how there's nothing doing on with these juveniles, and it's really got a bigger deal.
Pender says he's lived in Baltimore his entire life and has never seen the problem of juvenile crime as out of control as he says it is now.
I've been living here 70 years and I ain't thought about moving up until this would happen.
Pender says current juvenile crime laws are setting up juveniles to fail.
You making criminals out of these young kids because they feel that they got the opportunity now. Oh, I'm gonna get out the hour.
So yeah, the guy says that, you know, essentially that, like, I'm moving because this has gone out of control. This is completely out of control. And ever since this happened, I don't think I want to do this anymore. I don't think I want to live here. And rightfully do it because he probably shouldn't be there. And the fact of the matter is, guys, all these things that is going on is just insane in Baltimore. I mean, remember when this guy says, like, you know, it really depends on the situation? Well, I really want to point it out to this guy here, where he says it really depends on the situation. Because, again, look at this. This is a kid that was 10 years old that was just cruising around the playground, almost hitting it, and he was 10. So does it really depend on the situation here?
Watch the right side of your screen now. There, that vehicle you can see going across the sidewalk really close to the playground. The vehicle's seen driving in the background there several times back and forth. Surveillance video shows school staff frantically trying to move children off the playground and out of harm's way. Police Chief Brian O'Hara said MPD officers arrested this boy and he was booked into Hennepin County Juvenile Detention Center on Thursday for probable cause second-degree assault. This happened on September 20th of this year.
Yeah, so, like, what are we doing? Like, these 10-year-olds are just going around in Baltimore doing this type of stuff, or at least in this case, Minneapolis in this scenario, and that was just the reality of everything, right? Where this is just, these kids are committing crimes because there's no punishment involved. You have to set these kids up for punishment. And let me put this one thing on blast here. Parents, for the love of God, do something for your kids. And then on top of that, single mothers, stop being single mothers. Just stop. If you're a single mother already, you already failed, right? You can't just stop not raising your kid. But stop becoming single mothers. Stop having relations with a man and then booming out a child and then having them become like this. Because obviously this is a serious, massive problem here. And we're not talking about this issue. This is a huge problem. And we need to stop doing this. Like, the single mother epidemic is a huge problem. And you can't be saying it's, oh, just no, man, because no, you're allowing this stuff issue. It's like all of a sudden men just started to just have babies and just leave. No, I think it has to be more down on the single mothers here because there are multiple ways to prevent this. It's just like with NBC comedy, it's just hookup culture and all this great stuff, and it's just insanity. It just needs to stop. All right, guys, that's it for the video. Like, guys, share. As always, take care, my friends.
I'm disgusted by what I see in public. Even people closest to us can't be trusted because it's algorithmic disease, the social media.